Luis Diaz set for major change after rejecting Liverpool contract. Before continuing the video, do click that like button and subscribe the channel for more interesting Liverpool updates. Luis Diaz has reportedly turned down a new contract offer from Liverpool, signaling that a significant change may be on the horizon for the Colombian winger. At times this season, Diaz has been Liverpool's standout non-Egyptian player, putting in some impressive performances for the Reds. Although he hasn't quite reached the level of being undroppable, manager Arne Slot has leaned on him heavily. This marks his best run at the club since his initial months in 2022. However, therein lies an issue. Liverpool never offered Diaz a pay increase following his arrival. He remains on the same contract he signed 3 years ago, which is unusual for the club. Typically, Liverpool offers players relatively modest starting salaries with performance-related incentives that prompt them to sign new contracts, thus rewarding good form. However, Diaz has experienced periods of inconsistency, meaning he hasn't been offered that contract boost. This makes his decision to seek an exit somewhat understandable. Diaz is reportedly earning around $40,000 per week, which is roughly a third of what Cody Gakpo makes. For context, Luis Diaz rejects Liverpool's offer. Reports indicate that Liverpool attempted to resolve this by offering Diaz a new deal this year, but he has rejected their offer. Diaz is not satisfied with what the club has presented and feels he deserves a more lucrative contract. Whether Liverpool will eventually meet his demands remains uncertain. Diaz has long been linked with moves to Barcelona and Paris Saint-Germain. If Liverpool doesn't meet his expectations financially, he may prefer to join one of those clubs. However, things could change, especially with recent developments at Anfield. Kvaratskelia's impact. Liverpool have reportedly entered the race for Napoli winger Kvaratskhelia. The Reds are interested in the Georgian and are likely to pursue him if Napoli is willing to sell. This raises some immediate questions. For instance, where would Kvaratskhelia fit into Liverpool's lineup? The team is well stocked on the left wing, with Diaz and Cody Gakpo performing well in that position this season. A potential solution could lie in the situation of Darwin Núñez. Anfield Watch has exclusively reported that Núñez is drawing interest from the Saudi Pro League, and the Uruguayan forward is open to the idea of moving. Selling Núñez would create space in the middle of the attack, a role that Diaz has been increasingly filling this season. This move would allow Kvaratskhelia more opportunity to compete for the left-wing spot, while Diaz could showcase a new dimension to his game. This change might help him secure the contract he's after. Ultimately, this scenario could work out well for all parties involved. Major changes like this are rare in title-contending teams, but they might be exactly what Liverpool need to improve their squad further. Liverpool's bold offer for Kvaratskhelia. Liverpool have emerged as the early favorites to win both the Premier League and the Champions League following a stellar start to the season. Arne Slot's side has lost just twice in all competitions, and they show no signs of slowing down. Despite having a strong squad, they are expected to be active in the transfer market, with a winger reportedly high on their list of priorities. According to reports from Graham Bailey, Liverpool's interest in Napoli forward Kvaratskhelia is so serious that they are considering offering either Darwin Núñez or Federico Chiesa in a swap deal to reduce the winger's transfer fee. Along with Liverpool, Paris Saint-Germain are also keen on Kvaratskhelia, and they are reportedly preparing an $84 million bid to secure his services before the January transfer window closes. Therefore, any bid from Liverpool will need to match PSG's offer, especially since Napoli has proven to be a tough negotiator in recent years. Swap deal could benefit Liverpool. If Kvaratskhelia wants to leave Napoli this month, the club, along with coach Antonio Conte, would likely support the move, as it would bring in a substantial sum. While there may be concerns over how Napoli would cope without their star winger, a swap deal could be an attractive option for them. Liverpool have already invested £85 million in Darwin Núñez and £10 million in Federico Chiesa, but neither player has fully lived up to their price tags. Chiesa, in particular, remains open to returning to Italy, and he may be interested in reuniting with his compatriot Conte. Liverpool are reportedly preparing an offer to make a splash in the transfer market as they look to fend off competition for Napoli winger Kvaratskhelia. The Reds have exceeded expectations this season, sitting atop both the Premier League and the Champions League. This strong start to the 2024-25 campaign comes after a relatively quiet summer transfer window, with Federico Chiesa being their sole addition. While Arne Slot's side were not anticipated to be active this month, their transfer priorities are likely centered on securing a new centre-back and a central midfielder. Liverpool's attacking options are already among the best in the league, with Mohamed Salah, Luis Diaz, Cody Gakpo, Darwin Núñez, Diogo Jota, and Chiesa available to choose from. Nevertheless, it has emerged that Liverpool are targeting Napoli standout Kvaratskhelia, who has been a long-term target for the club. The Georgian international has become one of Europe's top wingers, contributing 5 goals and 3 assists in his 17 appearances this season. Kvaratskhelia has attracted interest from several elite European clubs in recent years, and it now seems increasingly likely that he will leave Napoli this month. Reports suggest his preference is to join Paris Saint-Germain, after having been keen on a move last year. PSG is exploring various options to secure a deal. Napoli is asking for 80 million, but they are reportedly open to selling the player in January. A shift from their previous stance in the summer. Liverpool are keen to strengthen their attack and have reportedly set their sights on Kvaratskhelia. The club is preparing a 97.5 per bid, which would involve both a cash offer and a player swap, in a bid to beat competitors like PSG, Manchester United, and Chelsea to the talented winger. The Reds are said to be considering including Federico Chiesa, who has struggled to make an impact since joining the team, as well as Darwin Núñez. The Uruguayan, who was signed for nearly $85 million in 2022, has raised doubts among fans, and he could play a key role in the negotiations, particularly given his interest in moving to other European clubs. Liverpool's goal is to bring in a player who can make a significant impact in their attack and strengthen the squad in their pursuit of titles. Although PSG appear to be closer to securing Kvaratskhelia, Liverpool's ambitious offer could change the course of the transfer. How Nottingham Forest could upset the odds and win the Premier League. Nuno Espirito Santo's Nottingham Forest have emerged as unexpected contenders, with the City Ground preparing for what could be an unlikely title clash with Liverpool. Not many would have predicted that Forest's match against Liverpool next week would have implications for the Premier League title race. Last season, Forest fans celebrated their survival on the final day of the season. But now they are daring to dream of something even more remarkable. Liverpool entered the 2024-25 season with Arne Slot in his first year in charge in the Premier League, with many giving them time to adjust to life without Jurgen Klopp, who had been at the helm for 9 years. However, next Tuesday's match at the City Ground will see Slot's league-leading Liverpool face Forest, the surprise package of the Premier League. Nuno Espirito Santo's team, once viewed as relegation candidates, are now dreaming of repeating Leicester City's remarkable 2016 title win. Could they be genuine contenders? It has happened before. Leicester defied 5,000 to 1 odds to win the title in 2016. According to the Opta Supercomputer, Forest have a 0.01% chance of pulling off a similar feat. Sheffield Forest. They will be hopeful of surpassing Leicester's 81-point tally from 2016 if their form from the first half of the season continues. A key fixture in the second half of the campaign will be their match against Liverpool at the City Ground. Before the March international break, they will also face Arsenal and Manchester City, 2 crucial games that could determine their final league position. Last season, Arsenal accumulated 40 points after 20 matches and finished as runners-up. Leicester, with an identical record in 2015-16, went on to win the title, a storyline many still remember. The narrative. Leicester. Similar to Forest, they were almost relegated the previous season before launching a remarkable charge. Claudio Ranieri took over a squad with something to prove, a group of players still known for their Misfits WhatsApp group. Jamie Vardy, who had risen from non-league football after being released by Sheffield Wednesday, was a key figure, along with Danny Drinkwater and Danny Simpson, both ex-Manchester United Academy players, and Robert Huth, initially on loan from Stoke. Many of their players were seen as rejects, but together they formed a team with an incredible chemistry that led to success. Forest. The club faced a 4-point deduction last season for breaching financial fair play rules, which dropped them into the relegation zone. However, they fought their way to safety. The team was also frustrated by decisions in their defeat to Everton last term, famously claiming that the VAR was biased towards relegation rivals Luton. Despite these challenges, there is a strong collective spirit within the squad, as many feel that things have not always gone in their favor. The squads. Leicester. Under Ranieri, Leicester had a solid starting lineup filled with players who would later achieve global recognition. Riyad Mahrez and N'Golo Kanté arrived as relative unknowns but went on to secure big-money moves. Mark Albrighton and Mahrez provided width, while the team had reliable squad players to come off the bench. Forest. Anthony Elanga, much like Mahrez, arrived with a higher profile after his time at Manchester United, but he's been eager to seize the spotlight. Chris Wood has been in form, replicating Vardy's role as the main goalscorer. Morgan Gibbs-White has drawn comparisons to Drinkwater, while younger talents like Elliot Anderson, a player Newcastle didn't want to lose, offer promise for the future. The managers duo. Both clubs have been led by underdogs in the managerial world, contrasting with the more flamboyant figures in the Premier League. Ranieri, with his signature charm, won hearts with his iconic dilly-ding, dilly-dong to wake up his players. Steve Cooper's tenure, however, seemed uncertain at times during last season's struggles. After his brief stint at Tottenham and a spell in Saudi Arabia with Al Ittihad, many didn't expect him to return to the Premier League, but his low-key manner and tactical knowledge have proven successful at Forest. What they cost. Leicester's squad was assembled for just over $50 million, a fraction of today's transfer fees. In contrast, Forest have been very active in the transfer market since Steve Cooper led them back to the Premier League. The squad has undergone significant changes, with players like Ibrahim Sangare, £30 million, Anderson, £35 million, and Gibbs-White, £25 million, adding quality. According to Transfermarkt, Forest's squad value stands at around $366 million. The big pitfall. Unlike 2016, when Leicester's stunning title win was a surprise, this season's race looks more predictable, with Liverpool seeming set to dominate. However, Forest has a real chance of finishing in the Champions League spots. Of the 70 teams to have accumulated 40 points or more after their first 20 games, only 4 have failed to finish in the top 4. The Opta model, which uses betting market odds and power rankings to predict outcomes, gives Liverpool an 89.3% chance of winning the league, with Arsenal at 10%. Chelsea and Manchester City are both rated at just 0.3%, slightly ahead of Forest's chances. The transfer of Alexis Sanchez and its impact on Arsenal and Manchester United. When Arsenal face Manchester United in the FA Cup this weekend, it will mark nearly 7 years since one of the most fateful transfers in Premier League history. The January 22, 2018 move of Alexis Sanchez to Manchester United had long-lasting and regrettable consequences for both clubs, as well as for Sanchez's own career.